Hi everybody, welcome to week 10. And before we begin this week, I wanted to meet up with you right here and give you a little once-over, a little briefing on what we're going to be discussing. So in this week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you the current situation between men and women and current relationships in society. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down specifically how to carry out a relationship if you're a man who happens to want one. Because here's the deal. Like I've said in the earlier videos, giving a woman exclusivity and commitment is the ultimate validation. You essentially have said, I'm done. I'm done searching. I'm done looking. You're the one. I'm ready to settle down. But guess what? A lot of guys don't know what to do at that point because once they give that woman the ultimate validation, they're hit with pullbacks. This woman goes cold on you. Throughout this video, throughout this week, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to find quality women, how to screen the right way for quality traits, where to find quality women, and then how to actually manifest it so it can be something beautiful. Because here's the fact. The fact is that if you're going to try to carry out a relationship today, at any point in your life as a man, doing what the mass majority of people do, ding, 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 guess what you're going to get? You're going to get the mass majority of their results. And the mass majority of men's results is like basically zero with women and with relationships. Divorce rates over 50%, meaning more people are getting divorced now than ever. And it's harder than ever to actually make love real again. So what are we going to do? You guessed it, we're going to do everything differently than most people do. So I'm going to baby step you through this whole entire sequence. Now the thing is I don't want you to think like you're soft or you're weak if you pair up with a woman and you guys are together and you're exclusive. That's very natural. It's very normal for a lot of people. Now here's the key. The key is to still come from the pursuit of high value. The key is to still make sure she's the one chasing you for commitment and you're not flirting with the idea first. And the key is still to maintain your masculine frame and stay on your purpose. And I'm going to be showing you how to do this. So I'm very excited for you to dive into week 10 of Blueprint. Let's dive in. Hi everybody, welcome to week 10 action items checklist. Now, in this week, what you have to understand, and not only that, what you have to really execute on is the fact that relationships take work. So do not let anyone bullshit you, telling you that it's easy, because it is not. If you decide to try to have a quality relationship, you need to be very cognizant of when you lose frame, okay, and when your woman shows disrespect. And internally, you need to daily self-reflect by asking yourself, are you going weak? This is what I want you to do. In week 10, the action you need to be executing if you're in a committed relationship, you need to actually take 30 seconds to a minute every night, look yourself in the mirror or before you go to bed, and you need to ask the question, am I going weak? Or do I still put myself and my purpose before her? Number 2, as she pursues commitment, qualify her. Okay, essentially, I do not want any woman to just get your life or get part of your life. She needs to actually be put through the ringer at this point so you can get a firm understanding if this person actually benefits your life. So I need you to ask her, hey, what do you like about me? Right? Why do you think this will work? Why do you want to date me? Most of all, what benefit will come my way if I agree to date you? These are all of the questions I would say word for word to a woman, because that way she's actually investing. That way she actually understands you have a standard that needs to be met. And this is one of the best ways to protect yourself, and that's also one of the ways to avoid female games and manipulation later. Number 3, tell her the status quo will not fly with you. Okay, as a 1%er, tell her that she must agree to also living as a 1%er with you. Because as a man on your mission, there's not any time for Netflix and chill. There's not time for mindless couples activities to fill their day with. You need to make it very clear that this is operating on your terms and she must fully agree. Okay, and it can be little things like structuring time to go to the gym together, right? Or structuring things where you guys can actually level up. Maybe you guys take an hour once every other day and you read together, page by page, things like that. Stimulate your brain. And when you do spend time together, it needs to be things that actually help level you up. So do not have the snowball effect of negative activity. These are the action items to execute on within week 10. Hi, everybody. Now, this whole week is centered and this whole week is focused on specifically really making sure that you can find a high quality woman. Because despite all of the brainwash tactics, despite all of the tactics that we have to, approach any woman or make sure any woman stays hooked, there comes a point where a lot of guys want to end up actually having like a bond with a girl. Or somebody that they can spend time with that's beyond sexual encounters or anything like that. So what I'm going to show you how to do throughout this week is I'm going to show you specifically how to screen for high quality women. Okay, because if you can't screen for high quality women, chances are the women that you start to deal with, that you interact with, they're going to be the kinds of girls that you don't necessarily want in your life after a while. And despite how attractive they are, the problem is that the wrong woman can really fuck up a man's life pretty deep. So this module is titled Thinking with the Dippin' Stick. And for those of you that don't know, that is your dick. Okay, if you're thinking with this stick, you're in for pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to find high quality women, how to keep high quality women, and how to make sure that you can turn it into something that both of you really enjoy. So here's the deal. There comes a point when men want to find quality in their life and are less focused on quantity. Okay, I'm going to read that again. There comes a point when a man wants to find quality and less quantity. Now, this isn't every man. Granted, I realize there's different people in this course. For some men, the chase never stops, and some men love to just hook up and fuck women and forever that's their life. Hey, that's fine. That's you, man. I'm not going to tell you how to live. I'm going to tell you how to get women hooked and engaged with them, but I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. But here's the thing. Sex is great, but you do not want every single woman's sexual energy. This is fact. Because you got to realize sex has meaning, and you receive the other person's energy when you start to have sex with them a lot. And depending on what type of person they are, you're going to receive that from them. Now, here's the deal. Men often only are screening for men's often only screening for qualifications is going to be sexual attraction, and this is where it gets so messy. So for men out there that actually want to have a relationship, or men out there that want to make sure they can interact with a high quality woman, what you got to realize is that you have to be screening these women for something that is more than just sexual attraction. Okay, because sexual attraction, you can find that walking down the shopping mall. You can find sexual attraction at your local Dairy Queen. You can find sexual attraction at your local Starbucks. Like that's easy. But if that's the only qualification you have, think of how messy this can actually get. Because just take a second right here and let's think of all of the things a woman wants. Okay, women have qualifications too. Think about all of the qualifications women often have. The qualifications women have is ridiculous. Because when it comes to men, they want a man who is 6 feet tall. And then they have the next qualification where he has to make $100K a year. And then there has to be the next qualification where he has to have a 6+ inch dick. And then there's a qualification where he has to be charismatic. Notice how these women will put you through so many more qualification tests than you're going to put her. Men, on the other hand, the only qualification we have for women oftentimes is this. We look at her and we go, hey, is she hot? And that's it. And that's what we settle with. Fellas, you have to have more to you. Because the more you have to you, the easier it's going to be to actually find a woman that you want to be with and that you should be with. Okay, so here's the thing. When you think of all the qualifications women have, you have to start to have more qualifications in your life. Because if you can get the woman to qualify to you, all of a sudden your interview means more than the other guys. Okay, think of it as the employee employment standpoint. If you had to go through 10 interviews to get that job, you're going to treat it a hell of a lot better. Now, here's the deal. Don't think that sharing sex with any woman doesn't come with problems, because it does. And as much as everyone is crazed to hook up, there's nothing casual about sex. We use this term a lot. We just had casual sex. We just casually hooked up. Okay, there's nothing casual about sex. I don't care if you're the biggest player in the world. I don't care if you are attractive to multiple women. You got to realize with casual sex, if that's what you want to call it, there's nothing casual about it because it comes with unwanted pregnancy, STDs, emotional baggage of that woman, and potential trouble, whether that be with the law, false accusations, that woman's emotional baggage. Maybe there's a crazy ex-boyfriend in the mix. Like, you never know. So when men realize, like, honestly take a step and realize, like, hey, we need more than a big ass and big tits and a pretty face. Relationships can actually start to get somewhere again for both sexes. The reason why relationships are so backwards for most men is because we have such low standards. We're willing to just settle down with anything because, do you remember in the module when I said lower value, I go comment #lower value in the group and let me know what you think. And there's so many men where they go, holy shit, Casey, they go, you're right. I was coming from the standpoint of the lower value because most men think that they're just lucky to get a girl. Okay, they're like, oh, she's cute. I'm lucky to get a date. That's what they think. And it's because there's a symbolism between the male being at the lower value. Now, if you're in Blueprint, I want you to realize you're at the higher value. Okay, because if you come from the standpoint of higher value interactions every time, you start to get the woman to qualify to you. So then instead of just a big ass and like pretty figure, this is what most men go for right here, is just that if they shape like that, he's going to be satisfied with her. Now we need more traits out of her. Okay, so now you're going to get her to qualify more. You're going to screen for her. So does she have a good job? Okay, does she show that she's able even without you? Or is she buried in credit card debt and looking for a man to actually just swoop her off her feet? Because that's what women do, fellas. Open up your eyes a little bit. Then you ask, is she sweet? Okay, is she kind? Would this be a person who potentially has good mom traits? Okay, because if she shows she has motherly instincts and ambition, that's going to show you that she's naturally a more feminine woman. Then you're going to ask, does she pull her weight? Or is she just looking for the man every time to chip in and pay the bill? And then you want to pay attention to how she treats others. Okay, because if she treats others with respect, and she's not out just shaking her ass, and she's not out, degrading herself, and she's actually like putting time in to see how other people are doing, you got to understand, like, women don't have masculine drive and ambition like we do. They're more emotional. So how she treats others, because that's what she's going to value more, is going to really, really show and reflect on what type of person she is. And then you're going to ask, how much validation is she seeking from other men? If she's posting on Instagram 20 times a day pictures of her ass and stuff, like, these are women you just want to stay away from. Okay, you want to find women who have good qualities. And to do that means that you have to be a man with some good qualities and a man with some boundaries. So we got to realize, fellas, you got to have more than just a pretty face. If that's your only qualification, you're in for pain eventually. Now, here's the deal. Sharing sex with every woman you can get it from leads to a negative connotation between what the value of it really holds. If all you're going for is just sex, if this is all you're trying to do is just hook up and you're just trying to fuck them and chuck them or kick them to the curb, or I just want to get her to submit and have sex with a bunch of women, there's a point in time in a man's life where he usually goes through that because he thinks he's king dick. But the problem is like, if you keep doing that, you start to hold a negative connotation. You start to think all women are sluts. You start to think that there's no higher value to sex. And that's what the value of it is to you. You start to get a negative connotation to it. You think, oh, well, because this woman, I was able to seduce her, I was able to get her, she's probably crazy like the rest, she isn't a good girl, all this stuff. And you got to realize they follow suit. They follow suit to the man. You're controlling the frame. And the thing is, if the frame that you're always coming at it is just what I want you to remember, I'm kind of having trouble explaining this, but what I want you to remember is people get what they focus on. If you focus on sex and you focus on hooking up and you focus on shallow interactions, that's the type of girl you're going to attract. And if you do that, it can get very, very soulless and feel as if the sex has no meaning. And lots of casual sex means you're only qualifying her on looks.
This is the girl at the bar that's just really hot, and you're just trying to qualify her on looks quick and see how fast we can get to it. And it can really mess up your life. Your perception of people, you can almost kind of get to be kind of narcissistic where you look at women and you think, hey, how can I see how fast this girl can please me? And then they have a whole other issues that come with it. Like I said up here, there's unwanted pregnancies, there's STDs, there's potential trouble, potential rape. Like, imagine if you got the wrong girl pregnant and now you're stuck paying child support on a kid you didn't even want to share that experience with a woman for the next 18 years. Like, fellas need to think greater than with their dipstick. If that's all you think with, you're not a man. You're kind of emotional. You're like a woman. You're just chasing pleasure. You're chasing fun. You're chasing party sex. It's coming from a standpoint of emotional. Now, you need to be sharing the experiences with women who act truly feminine, even when there is mutual commitment. What I mean by this is when there's mutual commitment, oftentimes the guy is coming from this lover boy frame. What I mean by this is you have a boyfriend and you have a girlfriend, and he starts to become, weak, or death by 1,000 cuts, I like to call it. You need to look for women to where even if there is mutual commitment, to where technically that should be lowering her attraction towards you because you've agreed to enter into exclusivity, you have to look for women that act feminine even when there is commitment. Here's what I mean. Let's say you get into a relationship with a woman. Okay, you get into a relationship. I'm going to just put REL for short. And let's say you tell her that you love her. And let's say you tell her that you care about her. And let's say you even tell her that, you could see yourself with her for a while. If she's like a modern day woman that is really focused on just like what the man can do for her, here's what she's going to do to you. As soon as you do this right here, she's going to pull back. She's going to start testing you. And she's going to now start seeking validation from somebody else. And then this guy right here is heartbroken. Okay, so just HB, heartbreak. This is what happens. That's the modern women. Here's what I want you fellas to realize. If your woman does this to you right here, that means that she was not the woman for you. Okay, you want to find a woman who you can share this with right here. You can give love to, you can give care, you can give, some sort of validation emotionally to her, and she's not going to pull back. In fact, if you're giving a woman love, you want this to be reciprocated. If you're giving the woman care, you want it to be reciprocated. And if you're actually telling her that you could see yourself with her, you want that to be reciprocated. And if you find a woman who can reciprocate this in a girly way, in a feminine way, in a way where you feel loved, this is a true woman of value. Okay? This is a woman that you need to stay with. This is a woman that you need to start to realize, hey, maybe this is the girl that has better values. But you got to realize these women are few and far between. So I would say over here, this is like the 1% to 5%. And over here, this is like the 95% of women. Okay, and the thing is the 95% of women is the mass majority. You guys in this blueprint course are 1% males because you understand things from a different perspective. If you're a 1% male, I do not want you getting heartbroken over a 95% woman. That's what I mean. You don't have enough energy to you to be stressing over this type of girl. If this type of girl pulls back and tests you, dude, who gives a shit? She's going to do that to 50 other men throughout her life, and she'll never settle down until she's in her 40s. And then when she's in her 40s, she's going to go, oh shit, I really fucked up because now I'm not very beautiful anymore and I ruined all of the chances I had. Okay, not worth your time whatsoever. You want to deal with quality women because the modern day women typically has daddy issues, STDs from 100 sex partners, sexual baggage from past lovers, emotional baggage from relationship trauma, and then a false sense of what it really means to date or love. The modern woman has no idea what it means to date or love. They think it's all about what he can do for her. It's all about the quickest thrill or the best party sex, and it's all about just how high his status is, and that means that she's in love. It's false. It's fake. That woman you need to stay away from. Okay, you got to be looking for women who have higher morals, higher beings, higher ethics if you want to settle down with them. Now, for all the men wanting relationships of commitment one day, here's the thing. I still stand by my original gestures from the earlier weeks. Number one, you can never tell a woman that you want commitment. Even if she is a girl with good morals, you need to still let her lock you down because you want it to come from the perception that she had to lock down the king or the beast. It's Beauty and the Beast. Second, you need to be optimized like a car. This is why week 1 is still the most important week. Like I always said, I'm looking at you like a car. I don't care about your emotional standpoint. I don't care about what you think you need for self-help. I want you optimized like a Lamborghini. Because even if she is a good girl, she still doesn't want to lock down a loser. She doesn't want to lock down a guy that doesn't have shit going for him. And number 3, it needs to be her idea. It needs to be her idea of commitment. Because you're just living your life. You're on your purpose. You're on your path. You're doing you. That's key. Now here's the deal. If most men are bitching about sluts, then why are we always the slut creators? This is what men fail to realize, is that it takes 2 to tango. Don't pay attention to this. It takes 2 to tango. And this really just doesn't make sense because it's like, if women are sluts, why are men the slut creators? Because here's the thing. Here's the woman who doesn't. This is the woman who doesn't put out. And then right here, this is the girl who has sex. The girl who has sex, well, she's always a slut. The girl who doesn't put out, well, now all of a sudden she's prude and she's a bitch. Do you understand this? These women don't necessarily know how to act because they're judged double. They don't know what the fuck to do. And like I said, it's Beauty and the Beast. She's following your lead. And this is why women are so confused because they don't know what to do because different types of men are leading them in different directions. This is why the only way to fix culture is to realize the men are broken. Men are fucked up today. Men don't have any ethics or morals to them. And here's the deal. If men are bitching about sluts, then why are we always the slut creators? Why are we trying to see how fast we can hook up at the bar? Why are we trying to see how fast we can fuck them? It doesn't make sense. And here's what society tells women. Society tells women, hey, men want a woman who is sexually experienced. But then guess what? Then he shames her for being a slut. And then society tells women, hey, men want a woman who is pure. But then he shames her for being too prude. And then men say things like, hey, we want a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. She doesn't know what to do. And then you hear other sayings like, hey, just keep his belly full and his balls drained and he will be happy. That's all men need to feel satisfied. It's bullshit. And then you have other things that are like, well, she doesn't wear makeup. She looks like shit. But then if she wears too much makeup, it's caked on and she's a cake face. Like they have no idea what anybody wants. And since men lead and women follow, she's literally trying to please and following at all times. And because of it, she feels like a broken, insecure girl too, because it feels like no matter what she does, it's not good enough. Like, if men want better women, we have to lead by example and be better men. I can't stress that enough. And you got to start to understand sex isn't that cool. Anyone can have it, and most men just think with the wrong head. However, if you're extremely inexperienced with women, you can't just watch these videos and that's it. Information junkies never win. Like if you don't have any experience really with dating, if you don't have any experience with women, if you don't have any sexual experiences to your name, you have some more work to do than where we're at in this course on week 10. Okay, this week 10 is for men who've kind of been there, done that, understand seduction, understand what women want, understand how to keep a woman hooked, and are now just entering into the frame of like, okay, I need to understand how to find quality and how to actually navigate this the right way. If you're just an information junkie watching these videos, you need to hop into the Q&As. You need to hop into the Q&As so I can coach you, I can talk to you, I can teach you, I can help you. That's how you're going to succeed with this course. So like I said, fellas, if we don't want sluts, we cannot be the slut creators anymore. You have to be okay with taking a step back. You have to start to educate. Okay? EDU, educate other men. Educate your peers. Fuck, tell other men to get into Blueprint. Tell other men to get into Blueprint. I'll kick you back some money. If you refer me some people into Blueprint so I can start helping more men, I'm going to put money back in your pocket. Like, this is a no-brainer. I just care about that men start to understand this information and start to feel like it's the right thing to do. So this, fellas, is why you need to stop thinking with the dipstick. Hi everybody, today I'm going to be breaking this down for you and I'm going to be showing you signs of quality women. Because the truth is that a lot of men want quality women, but the only problem is that they have absolutely no idea how to screen them to know if they are quality or not. And like I said in the past video, right, women have endless lists. Like endless lists. And there's so many women out there that, you know, their peers or their coworkers or society, they tell them, girl, don't settle. Don't settle, girl. You're worth more than that. And whether they are worth more than that or not, the thing is that they've all been brainwashed into thinking that they are. Which means that I want you guys to have some kind of standard as well. Because most men just have no idea how to screen women for quality. And women have endless lists, but men have nothing. So, like I said in the past video, right, women will literally go to endless lengths of the earth to figure out to see if this man is quality or not. They'll say he must be at least 6 feet tall, he must make $100,000 a year at minimum, he must have a 7-inch dick, like he must drive a Mercedes. Women make these insane checklists all the time that are like so false and so not needed. And a lot of times the guy doesn't check off all of her boxes, but the thing is like she has boxes in the first place. And men at most, what we usually do is we go, well, she's hot, yeah, I'll take her. That's it. And because of that, we're constantly at the shorter end of the stick. This right here is why guys don't have success dating, is because they feel lucky to get a date. Like they feel lucky to get a date. When you're a man of abundance, when you're a man of options, you feel like, okay, this girl better check off my goddamn boxes or I'm going to move on to somebody who will. Now, the signs of a quality woman, you guys, is actually super, super simple. Like, it's very, very simple. They must respect your role as a man. And that's it. That's it. And they have to understand their role as a woman. Which means that as a masculine man, you need to be having certain qualities to yourself to where you get to say you're a man in the first place. That's your role. Your role in the relationship is to be a strong, dominant, rational, masculine male. The type of guy she can feel safe and secure around. And this keeps her feminine. And him masculine. I abbreviated. This keeps her feminine and him masculine. Okay, so she must respect your role, and you have to respect hers. And when there's two clear-cut guidelines of what's expected of each party, that's when you start to see success in relationships. Now, she needs to be along for your ride. I can't stress this enough. Men, you all need missions. Like, that's the one thing that's most attractive to women, is strong, ambitious men. There's no greater attractive thing to a woman than a man who is on his mission, on his purpose, knows the boundaries of what he will and won't put up with, and he does not settle short for anything that he has his mind set to. Like I said, it's your ride. So in the relationship, she's looking for somebody who has leadership qualities. So you are the decision maker. You're the leader of the family or of the relationship. You give her comfort because she knows you're decisive and you actually have a mission or a purpose on this planet and lives it to the fullest each and every single day. And what you use her for is you uses her as balance and a great support system. The thing is when guys get so far into this masculine energy, a lot of them tend to neglect ever hanging out with women. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to use all of these good positive traits that you have to actually be able to attract whatever woman you want. Because there's no better feeling than after a long work week or something like that, kicking back and hanging with your girl. Okay, you get what I mean? If you're on your mission, if you're slaving away, if you're pounding, it's great to have a good support system like that for a woman that actually understands what mission you're on and is allowing, herself to be part of it and to almost be like that sidekick for you. And she will love this because this is natural human evolution. This is naturally how humans behave. Okay, naturally the women submit to the men. Naturally this keeps her feminine because she sees like her man's powerful and is on a mission and cares about something and is decisive and diligent. And that's what she's going to fall in love with if it's a long-term interaction. Now, she plays her part as sweet or as feminine, and this is why week 1 is still the most all-important week, because you got to realize if you don't have a mission or a purpose or ambition, you're not brainwashing shit into love. Week 6, you can just flush down the toilet because you're not going to be brainwashing her into anything. Because she realizes you're not a man of value. In order for her to be a sweet feminine woman, she has to have a man who's her opposite. If you're not her opposite, she has absolutely no reason to be sweet or caring or feminine to you. It's just not going to happen. So if you can't set your own pillars of excellence, you are fake high value. And this is why you can't hold frame. This is why you can't hold confidence. And this is why she pulls back. This is why women have probably went cold on you for your entire life in every single relationship, because you have no cockiness or no arrogance or no authority in your voice, because you don't feel deserving of what you want deep down. The thing is if I'm in an interaction with a woman, I say it as is. I'm totally confident in what I say because I feel like I've been there, done that already. Like I'm on my mission. I'm doing my thing. And I'm going to show you guys what my mission is in a second. Now, she needs to be all for your mission or it will not work. Like the girl I'm currently seeing right now, a total support system. If a website crashes, she's helping me put it back up. She thinks it's super cool I'm coaching men. She thinks that all of these traits that I'm displaying, she wishes all guys have that, so that way like some of her friends could actually find a good masculine man as well. Like this is what women want. And for those of you guys right now in this course saying, I don't need anybody, I don't need no woman, I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, okay. Every guy that says that is fucking full of shit. They want a chick, they want to be attractive to women, and they want to be able to share some sort of companionship with a woman. And for all of you guys out there that are following this right here, notice I have not mentioned one word about this. Red pill. You guys follow the red pill. You guys do all this shit. I don't talk about any sort of pill colors in this because if you fill yourself with too many of these dating influencers, the problem is like you're going to totally head fuck yourself in every interaction. These guys right here that say this is just how it is, this is how women behave, like all women cheat, all women are sluts. The thing is, like I said, fellas, what you focus on is what you get. And the problem is like since these men could never figure it out for themselves, they stereotype everybody else and they tell everyone to just settle and realize this is how it is and women are bitches. Okay, you don't want to think like that. Because like I said, what you focus on is what you get. Let me show you. Okay, so focus. In life, like the law of attraction, if this is manifestation right here, what you're trying to manifest, what you focus on is what you get. This is how the world works. So if you're constantly focusing on the negatives, and this right here, you go, all women cheat. There's no such thing as a woman who's ever going to care for a man. I'm never going to be able to have a companion. And you say, I'm just a player, I'm going to fuck women until the day I die. Well, that's what you focus on. And that's why guys often cheat on their wives or wives cheat on their men, is because that's what they focus on. And then you're going to get this opposite end of the manifestation pole. Since that's what you focused on, that's what your life gave you. Your life gave you negative because you looked and you searched for the negative. If you're on this side of the spectrum and you want the positive, you start to realize that what you focus on is what you get. If I go into it with the mindset that I'm going to make sure I find a caring companion, I'm going to make sure I find a feminine woman who has positive qualities, I'm going to make sure I find a woman who is ambitious and who has motherly instincts so that way she can be soft and feminine. Well, guess what? That's what you focused on. That's what you found. The thing is like, since this guy over here, that was all about this fucking red pill that ruins men into this right here is the stupidest goddamn thing ever, because all the guys go, it's truth. Well, this is the truth pill. And that may be the truth in your situation, but because you got burned, chances are you were doing so many things wrong that masculine men were supposed to do. If this man would have just understood how to remain masculine even when dating, he could have manifested this over here and he could have actually had love in his life. But because he didn't focus on that, he focused on all these negatives. Well, now that's what happened. That's what you get. People that want to build businesses, if they work until the day they die and building an amazing business, they probably end up as a millionaire. Like what you focus on, you get. I can't stress that enough. I really can't. And for those of you saying I don't need anybody, it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you know you want somebody. The truth is that you've probably just been burned so many times that now you have this mentality because you could never figure it out in the past. Fellas, what I want you to do is I want you to learn so you can move forward. This way, you don't get fucked over. You don't get broken because women don't want to stray for men who are doing everything right. They want to stray for men who are doing everything wrong. Now, this is polarity in attraction. And that's why I've been saying you need to fully remain her opposite, not her same. If you look at one of the guys in Blueprint, damn, I should find this actually for you because he posted this. Aaron is his name. He posted this last night. And let me find this for you guys. Granted, I get you're seeing my personal Facebook here, but I don't really give a shit. Aaron, you guys can message him. He's a great guy. He goes, just to reinforce the point of this program, let me share what I'm experiencing at the moment. I'm here at my local Starbucks getting prepped for an exam I have coming up tomorrow, and I'm sitting outside with a small table to myself. A group of about 4 to 5 men and 3 to 6 women are having a loud conversation about nonsense. Normally, I don't pay attention to these things, but wow, men as a whole have really lost their way. These men are giggling, laughing, and are even more in a more feminine frame than a woman are. This is insane. They're twitching their feet, speaking in a validation-seeking way, and playing the nice guy card to its fullest extent. You see what I mean, fellas? This is not polarity. These men are totally fucking up because they think if they enter into the woman's frame, that will create attraction. It doesn't. That right there creates negative energy because she realizes this guy is not a man. That's a guy that can get taken advantage of because she can walk all over him. This is why I keep saying, fellas, polarity is everything. Especially if men really fuck this up over time, especially if it's the same girl for many months or years in a row. This is what I mean. He starts becoming her. You want to know how to have success in a relationship? You have to be able to love a woman without turning into a woman. That's it. Let her still do the mushy-gushy stuff. You can still love her, but you don't have to act like a cornball like all these guys do where it's baby, baby this, baby, baby that. That is her job. And just as you don't necessarily find a woman who is super focused on her career, which is quote-unquote a masculine trait, attractive, she doesn't find a guy who's super gushy and focused on a relationship attractive. Now, like I said, you guys want to find professional quality women. Is it amazing if a girl has a great career? Yes, but I've never fallen in love over a woman because she really values her job. That's a more masculine trait. And I would say you would probably agree with me on this. If a girl came up to me and said she's a neurosurgeon, I would think that's amazing. I think that's awesome that she's able to do that. But guess what? That's not going to help me fall more in love with her. However, if a woman sees a guy who's very ambitious like that, that starts to really get her going. But men and women are not the same. So she doesn't find a guy who's super gushy and focused on a relationship attractive. Why? Because this is a feminine trait. That's why I'm going to turn it pink. That's a feminine trait. So make sure like you're focused on your ambition. She's focused on the relationship. That's so key. Now, you need a mission to lead her through. And I keep saying this, and you guys are probably wondering, what is your mission, Casey? And my mission, for example, is to make men great again. And I'm going to show you how this is going to develop for me. Now, will this work? I hope so, and it's working right now. I have men in Masculinity Blueprint. Eventually, I want to transition men into Black Card Blueprint, and eventually I want to get them into Quantum Blueprint Mastermind. And this is the evolution of my mission. This is the evolution of my journey. This is the evolution of what I want men to be. I really value this. I value to make men great again. That's why if you go to my YouTube channel and you check out what I'm up to, you know, I'm posting almost every other day about this due to the fact that I really care. And now there's 12,000 other men right now that are subscribing to these exact same beliefs. The process is in place that men actually need to improve and to build an amazing life for themselves. People are subscribing to this because it works. People are subscribing to my beliefs because they're working for them. Now, this is my mission. Right now, as I'm filming this, I'm 23 years old. I'm 23 years old and I'm enrolling men into Masculinity Blueprint. Once I get, enough people into this where it's a huge community helping everybody, once men understand how to get their women under control, I'm going to transition them into a new course and a new training where I help them grow their business. so I can help them be on their purpose too. And it's going to be Black Card Blueprint. Eventually, I'm going to get them into Quantum Blueprint Mastermind, where they're full stack men. These are men that understand how to balance their relationship or marriage and their business and still keep frame and have everything figured out. These are going to be men that want to actually participate and better their lives to the utmost. And this is where this is my goal. This is my evolution of my company. This is my evolution of my business. Like, I want to make men great again. And that's why my mission goes beyond money. Your mission can't just be about making cash. Your mission has to be something you're deeply rooted and passionate about. That's why if you go to my YouTube and you look at videos total, like, now where does it say this? Like, for example, guys, I should say total videos somewhere. You know, like, I got 491 videos. This has nothing to do with money. This has everything about the mission of me trying to make men great again. That's what I want to do. And this is the evolution of my mission. Any woman who enters my world needs to understand that this is my mission, with or without her. If she wants to be along for this ride, me constantly helping men, me being obsessed with this, me doing what I feel like I was meant to do on earth, any woman who enters this world needs to understand that this is my mission, with or without her. If she wants to stay, great, love to have her. If she wants to exit, that's fine, because I've built the man where I can get whichever girl I please. And it may sound cocky, but it's true. I understand how to do this. And the mission ties into everything. Now, she needs a world that she can fall into. Okay, she needs a world she can fall into, because there's a lot of guys that get bitter about this. They go, well, she just likes me because I have my head on straight. She just likes me because I have money or I have a career. It's like, no, she likes you because she sees you have a rational, strong, ambitious, masculine world. Because think of it. She has emotions that are skyrocketing with her hormones. She has periods. Then she has to go to work. And she's told in society that she's supposed to do all of these things that men do, and it typically goes against her naturally mother instinct. And then she's got to counter baby fever on top of that. And it's like her world's so upside down because she's so in her head that she can't make up her goddamn mind for a reason. That's why your job is to add the masculinity. Your job is to add the structure, the rational way of how the relationship operates, the way of what's expected out of both of you, so that way you can take her world and make it feel strong and secure, and she can take your world and add some comfort and some emotional support to you as you go about this. Men and women are meant to be together. I can't stress this enough. That's why I hate these pill callers saying that you can't interact with a woman on a long-term basis or something like that. It's all fake. Now, what is assumed authority, and how does this actually help you find quality women? Well, you see, assumed authority is taking the lead role even if you don't know that you're necessarily cut out for it. And this takes balls. And while most men submit, you assume the authority and step up. So here's what I mean by this. Let's say a guy sees a pretty girl out at a bar or something and he wants to get to know her. Most men are going to look at themselves and they're going to go, oh, I'm too bald, I'm too fat, I probably don't make enough, there's no way she's going to like me. And if he goes and tries to approach her, he has no bass in his voice, he has no confidence. Assumed authority is what that same guy needs to do is he has to just say, you know what, I'm a man, I have some authority because I have a penis, I'm a strong and I'm rational, I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to say, hey, what's your name? I'm interested. You seem like the type of girl I want to know. Let's get a drink. He's just going to do it, and he's going to assume the role. You got to realize women do not want to assume the authority or the responsibility. That's why a lot of you guys waiting for women to approach you, they're not going to do it because they don't want to take the lead. Like, that's the masculine role. They want a man to step up and do it for them because they want to look up to the king. Just like you want to have a soft, sweet queen, they want to be able to view you as the king. It's Beauty and the Beast, and this is why you must have a mission in the first place. If you have a mission, what you realize is you're on earth for something. And that way, when you get to this point, when I say with or without her, I'm dead serious. You understand that she is not the center of your world. What you're about and what you're doing becomes your universe because you're actually making a difference because you're a man of value. Extremely important. So what are the signs of a quality woman? Signs of a quality woman, I'm going to list all of them. It's one who is kind and one who is sweet. one who's girly and one who's feminine. She can flirt, she can have fun with you, and it's good traits of a potential mother. She's caring and she's nurturing, and she provides emotional support and comfort and value to her man. It's one who biologically has good traits for future offspring, because this is the point of dating. The point of dating is to make sure your guys' lives are better together and not separate. Because you got to realize your genes as a man, your genes only care about two things. The first is going to be survival. The second is reproduction. That's it. Your body wants to survive and your body wants to reproduce to have offspring for the next generation. That's it. That's all it cares about. It doesn't care about your monetary standpoint. It doesn't care what you want in your head. Your body's going to fight against you, and this is what it's going to go to every time. That's why you have high sexual desire. That's why you have the need to survive. That's it. And these are signs of a quality woman. Which means that for future offspring, or the point of dating, like, you have to make sure she has these traits so that way it is good quality for both of you. Now, more signs of a quality woman: one who's positive, one who's not addicted to social media where she needs validation from 50 different men, one who's spiritual or religious, so that way she feels like she also has purpose on this earth and she has some sort of moral standpoint or moral compass, and one who puts value on sex beyond pleasure. This is key. This is ridiculously key, because if she values sex beyond pleasure, she's actually looking at this as some sort of interaction where she can share bond with a man. This is also a girl that doesn't drink a lot of alcohol. This is a woman that's focused on her diet and exercise, and she doesn't get complacent and lazy. This is a girl who stays in shape because she values her body. If she values her body, she's going to be valuing her diet and her exercise. If she values that, well, guess what? Chances are she's going to actually feel like she has higher being and potential. All of this is key. So just as quality men are masculine, rational, driven, powerful, and protective, this will be his opposite. And this is a woman who doesn't pull back from you when she gets some sort of validation or attention. Like I said, the woman who just pulls back right away when she gets some sort of validation or attention, you got to realize this is because this is a man who's focused on the negatives. He already thinks in his head that as soon as he gives her an inch, she's just going to take a mile, so he's bitter in the first place. Fellas, if she starts doing that and she's pulling back even when you went into it positive, you got to realize she's not the girl for you. And this is a woman who is a sidekick to you in your mission, and one who doesn't test and push your buttons every other week. There's some women that purposely try to do this to their man. They'll just push and push and push to see how far they can take him until he's broken. Now, if you see your woman doing this, this is a girl that's not for you. Because if you have all of these powerful, amazing traits right here, you need better. You deserve better. So fellas, they exist. But it's the man's job to lead her that way. And she will only be this way, this soft, sweet, feminine woman, to men who are worth respecting. And this is why I've always said nice guys do not make good men. They're two very different types. And this is why sex-focused relationships always fail. There's no polarity. There's no boundaries. There's no understanding of what's expected out of the other. Okay? And there's men that are so focused on how to find love instead of what are the qualities of what makes love good in the first place. These are all of the qualities of quality women, all of the signs of quality women, and I want you guys to really make sure that you're focused in on this 24/7. Make sure you find women who are the right types for you.
Hi everybody. So one of the most frequently asked questions I ever get, like this is one of the top that everybody always says, they go, Casey, how do you find high quality women? That's what they say. They say, how do you find high quality women? How do you find the type of women that are not pieces of shit, that are not validation seeking attention whores, that don't try to flirt with every single guy? How do you find these type of women? And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, because once a man does this, it's very, very easy to understand who's quality and who's not. So here's the deal. It's very easy. You find them in places opposite of where low quality people would be. And as straightforward and as crazy as that sounds, it's true, because high quality women will be in places where you find high quality people. Okay, high quality people in general hang out at different places than low quality people. So think for a second. Men like to confuse things. And let's just get right to the meat and potatoes. Men like to confuse everything. They're like, shit, should I say this on the approach? Should I meet her here? Is this the right way to go about this? Is she a high quality woman? Is she a low quality woman? Like, fellas, you are what you attract. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. If you hang out in bars, you're going to get a girl who goes to the bar. If you hang out in clubs, you're going to get a booty club girl who likes to shake her ass on a bunch of different guys. If you matched and swiped right on Tinder, you will get a girl who will be on Tinder. Okay, you attract what you are. What you are is what you attract. And in life, guess what? You get what you focus on. This is so important. This one right here is literally the defining definition that's changed my whole life. I get what I focus on. Like, for those of you, there's so many people, when they go into a relationship or something, they always say, you know, I'm so scared. Like, let's say someone gets married or someone has a girlfriend. They say, I'm so worried my wife's going to cheat. And this is what they focus on. And since this is what they focus on, guess what she ends up doing? Why does she end up cheating then? Because you attracted this. You get what you focus on. I'm going to say this 10 more times. You get what you focus on. You get what you focus on. Since he's so focused on her cheating, what does he do? He acts really needy. Okay? He also tries to take all of her time. He also acts, you guessed it, insecure. And then guess what? Because of that, since he's so worried about her cheating, and he can sense that, she does what he doesn't want to. She cheats. This is why marriages fail. This is why people don't get in life what they want. Now, if he would have focused on having quality times, quality interactions with her, guess what? She would have been coming to him, and in no way, shape, or form would have he been the type that would get cheated on. You get what you focus on. You get what you focus on. You attract what you are, and you get what you focus on. I'm going to say it one more time. You get what you focus on. Those of you guys that are chasing your purpose and want to build a great business or something, if you focus on that 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, for the next 150 weeks in a row, guess what you're going to have? You're going to have an amazing business. If you guys want to have an amazing body, and you focus on it 60 to 90 minutes a day, 5 to 6 days a week, for the next 52 weeks, you're going to have an amazing body. Why? Because you focused on it. You're dedicated. That's the key. So how do you find quality women? Well, here's the deal. One of the traits I find quality in a girl is a girl who's healthy and fit, and if she's attractive. Okay, so if you find girls who are healthy and fit and attractive, a quality woman, gyms would potentially be a great place to meet a girl. Okay, and if she's the type of girl that hangs out at a gym and she's interested in building her body and whatnot, that's a great place. If you consider a girl who's into health or nutrition, who's health or nutrition conscious, an attractive quality because she's not out boozing, she's not eating the type of food that really just fucks up her body, she's actually taking care of herself, well, guess what? Whole Foods or organic shops is a great spot when you go out shopping. So you understand here, this is specifically what you're focusing on. Since you're focusing on quality, you're going to attract quality. If you consider women who are religious or traditional unattractive quality, guess what? Church groups will put you in situations to meet people that are more quality. Okay? And you're gonna, yeah, I'm always gonna get the outliers that say, but Casey, you said church girls might have potentially had a bad past. Yeah, that's true, dude. But who doesn't have some point of a past? Who doesn't? Like, nobody's perfect. Even if you find a quality girl, there's a chance that she's fucked up in life before, just like I'm sure you fucked up in life before, just like I've fucked up in life before. And this is why you need to be on your purpose. This is why your purpose is everything, because guess what? Men who are on their purpose, purpose equals value. And when you have value, value equals access to better people. And then guess what? Better people equals better access to better events and better venues where better people hang out. And better venues is going to mean not every Tom, Dick, and Harry is competing. Now we have exclusivity. Okay, this is why I say investment is the most important term in dating. And when you get her invested, guess what? Remember how I said you need to make it like an employee/employer thing? If she had to invest and go through 6 different applications to get you, guess how she's going to treat that job? Perfect. Because she's a high quality girl. She wants to get her investment back out of it. Okay, so you find women of high quality in places where quality people hang out. I mean, if you're in bars and clubs and you're trying just to pick up street women, you're going to get habits of street women. Girls who occasionally do cocaine, girls who smoke pot every single day, girls who hook up all the time with a bunch of different guys. You attract what you are. Guess what? If that's where you're hanging out, that's probably what you're doing too. Focusing on the lower qualities in life. This is a no fucking brainer. So high quality places to meet women is like gyms, churches, church groups, libraries, Barnes and Noble, entrepreneurial groups, etc. And when you're a man of quality, you start to actually understand that it's very normal to approach women anywhere, because this is now natural human interaction. Attraction is normal. I want to say that one more time. Attraction is normal. It's okay for you to approach her. It's okay for you to approach her with friends. It's okay for you to approach her with a family member. It's okay for you to approach anybody, because this is how people interact. If you don't have multiple people to talk to, how is it that you're going to get through the day? You're going to be all alone. And these are women who by default are into self-improvement with their life. This is supposed to say somewhat. They're somewhat into self-improvement. Okay, they're on the right diet. They're exercising. They don't drink alcohol, etc. They're going to church. Maybe they're religious. Maybe they're spiritual. Even if you're not religious, dude, maybe get some spiritual connection. Maybe think to yourself that, hey, if I have a purpose and I'm put on this earth for a reason, maybe there's a chance I can meet somebody who's incredible like that too and feels like we both have value. Okay, start to actually look for the higher up and not just the negativities in life. The purpose of dating. What is the purpose of dating? Okay, you see, most men have absolutely no idea. Most men have no idea what the purpose of dating is. They think it's either A, to not be lonely, or they think it's just to find a partner and quote unquote just quick settle down, or it's to feel complete. It's to feel completed. They think, oh, if I have her, now I'm enough. Now I'm what I needed to be. Or they think it's just finally to somebody have constant sex with. They're like, yep, I'm done. Good thing I don't have to work on myself anymore. Good thing I don't have to go out there and be attractive and hunt and all this stuff. And I don't have to have any sort of charisma. I got my wife. I got my girlfriend. I got consistent sex. Fellas, this will lead you to a life of misery. This right here is victim mentality. This right here is poor me. I need somebody. I need a partner. I need to settle down. I need to feel completed. I need sex. Need. The whole purpose of dating, fellas, is to take a good hard look at the other person that's in front of you each day to find out, when we come together, is my life with this woman better and more successful and more fulfilling together, or would it be better apart? If it's more successful and more fulfilling and you guys have values you are sharing together, that's when you keep dating. If you notice that you both have bad habits and there's turmoil and there's a feud and this is not good energy, well, guess what? You're going to leave. That's the purpose of dating right here, is to find somebody where you guys can grow better together. Now, if it's truly better, you have to start working towards something with her. Because what that's going to do is that's going to build chemistry. It's going to build bond. You guys are both on the same page. You say, listen, if we have this, we could potentially have something that's beautiful. And if she realizes that, she's going to work like hell to lock down her king. If not, you have to have the strength to move on. Okay, you have to have the boundaries, the beliefs that you have abundance in your life. You have to have the beliefs that says, hey, I'm good enough as is, and I do not necessarily need anybody. But if I have somebody that's of value to accompany my life, I would love them on my mission. Like I said, this is your mission. Purpose is everything. So if you see red flags in a woman, you got to realize you cannot just ignore them. Don't just ignore them because you find her hot or you find her sexy. Okay, this is never a good answer. This can literally fuck up a man's life so bad. So bad. If you ignore the red flags on a woman, you can potentially destroy yourself. And the reason for that is because he starts to get blindsided by false love. He maybe falls in love with her figure, her voice that's very sweet. He falls in love with her vagina. But guess what? Beneath all that beauty is a toxic woman who has toxic habits, who leads you to a toxic lifestyle, who isn't the type of woman that has any sort of quality traits to her. And that's when the guy ends up fucked up and stuck. So if you see the red flags, you cannot ignore them. You have to have the strength to move on. Now, you got to constantly ask yourself when you're with a woman, you say, if myself and this woman were to have kids right now, because you got to realize when people have sex, that's the point. That's why you have a sex drive, is to procreate. You got to ask yourself, if we were to have kids potentially right now, would this be a double positive for both of us or a double negative?
Would we be losing out right now and this would be very, very bad, or would this be positive and beautiful? Because you got to realize if the sex is great, but you could see how bad it would be if kids actually came into the mix, you do not belong putting your genitals inside of hers anymore. The reason why I say genitals like that is because, fellas, that's what sex is. Like, it's an important thing. You're literally putting your dick inside of somebody, ejaculating your seed and your DNA into hers to recreate and procreate life. That better damn sure be somebody that you could potentially seeing, have amazing kids with or something like that. Anytime you take your life casually, you lose masculine edge. Anytime you take your life for granted and you're just going with the flow, you lose masculine frame and masculine edge. You got to be on top of it 24/7. It is your job as the man to make sure you're dictating how this outcome's going. And you got to ask yourself, does this woman possess traits that are positive or negative? Does she have feminine, motherly-like traits? Is she soft? Is she sweet? Does she have good habits? If she does not, you have to have the balls to leave. So how do you find high-quality women? You find high-quality women in places where high-quality people in general hang out. Okay, this is just a no-brainer. You don't find them on the streets. You don't find them in bars and clubs. You find them in places where the minority of people hang out, not the majority. Hi, everybody. This is a process called nexting. Okay, now this is something that everybody needs to understand very well and very clearly. And I definitely think that the title, you probably will get a gist of it right away and understand what it means just from the sheer fact of how I described it just now. But nexting is when you're able to say next. Like, you're able to have your set rules, your set boundaries, your set type of women that you are interested in and that you will go for. And that's it. Like, you're not settling for anything less. So the thing is like, us men, we're not going to just fall in love with a woman's beauty. Okay, that is not good enough. We need more. And why do we need more? Because if we're providing all of this value as a man, like if we got our body in check, we got our finances in check, we got our charisma on point, we have a social life of abundance, right? We're not coming from a standpoint of scarcity anymore. We're coming from a standpoint of abundance. Why the fuck do you want bottom barrel women? Why the fuck do you want women who have baggage? Why the fuck don't you respect yourself enough to move the fuck on? Oh, because she's so cute. Because of her, she got a vagina. Dude, no. No. Think, bro. Think. Every date you go on, this is not about you trying to make her like you. No, it's not about that at all. Because what you got to realize is, like, she probably already does like you. You're probably a good-looking guy who takes care of yourself. Point blank, period, that's it. It is you qualifying to see if she is a good fit. You're the employer. Flirt with her. Is there chemistry when you flirt? Talk to her. See what she does in her life. Is she bringing up negative things? Is she bringing up, like, partying and all she does is like to occasionally go to clubs? Or what does this girl do? You're screening her to see if she's a good fit. Now, when I say we're qualifying to see if she likes you, that doesn't mean we're sitting back like a total fucking asshole and not talking. Because if you're on a date and you're doing that, she's gonna go, why the hell did this guy even ask me on a date? He doesn't even want to talk to me. Okay, it's not that. It's just like we have a little bit better qualification screening process than most men. Doesn't mean we're not friendly. Doesn't mean we don't like to get along. But what it does mean is that we're willing to move on if need be. Now, since every date you go on, you're trying to qualify her to see if she's a good fit, you got to realize something. If she's not, we're going to next her. Because chemistry plus quality equals happy people, happy couples. I'm going to say that again. Chemistry plus quality equals happy people. And I'm going to actually put a happy couple. Because if you're on this section, you maybe are thinking about dating, or you're thinking about commitment. Maybe you got a girl trying to lock you down and you're trying to see if she is a good fit for you. Notice, you can't just have chemistry. It's chemistry plus quality. Because here's the thing. I would consider myself a high quality man. But here's the issue with that. I could easily walk into a bar right now and find a girl I have chemistry with.
That would take me 5 to 10 minutes max. I could find a girl with chemistry. Does not mean she's of quality. Does not mean we would be a happy couple. You need chemistry plus quality to equal happy couple. If you don't have that, you got to move on. So nexting is seeing if she is a good fit. If you spot red flags, you go, next, 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 move on. And you're going to be okay with it. And why are you okay with it? Well, I'm going to tell you why in a second here. The key is for men to be emotionally detached completely in the beginning. Because he who catches feels instantly is he who loses. And her job, I'm going to underline this right now, her job is to bring the feelings, to bring the intimacy, to bring the emotions, and to bring the love. Your job is to just stay happy and non-needy. And you enjoy her, but you don't necessarily need her. And that's the only way she's going to be willing to give you this love, because now you have her, she now has a reason to fight tooth and nail to get you. And that way you can start actually observing her for some true qualities. Okay, and if you're observing her for true qualities, well, guess what's going to happen? Now she's going to start to actually bring something to the table. She's going to start to actually try to be there for you. She's going to notice that this is a guy that she's met that doesn't all of a sudden need love in his life. And you got to understand, when she sees this, oh boy, that gets her going. And it should get her going. The reason for that is because guys like that are few and far between. So here's the deal. If you're on a date, if you're with a woman and she starts talking about drinking and partying or doing drugs, or when she was at Coachella last year and did ecstasy for the third time, like, you got to realize, fellas, I have been on dates with girls like this as well. You go, next. I mean, if you want to finish the date, you can. You don't have to. You can just leave. Like, I don't really give a fuck. But you go next. Why do we go next? Because we don't need them. We don't want them. If you're hearing about the girl who at the club she had some baller buy a table and she got free champagne and she got to shake her ass and there was a strip pole on the party bus. Like, dude, you might have good chemistry with her. She might like you. You guys might smile and flirt. That is not the type of woman that has the qualities you need to have a happy and healthy, successful life. So you have to have the balls up front to state what you deserve to be with. You have to have the balls to be upfront with what you actually deserve in life. And what this is going to come down to is a scarcity versus abundance mindset. So what is somebody who lives in scarcity? Well, you see, somebody who lives in scarcity thinks that this is his only chance. He's on a date, he goes, oh shit, this is my only chance to get what I want. This is my only chance. And he thinks she's the only one. He goes, oh shit, I better not fuck it up or she's going to leave. And he's scared the whole time. He's walking on eggshells. He's worried to say the wrong thing. He might offend her. He's worried to say the wrong thing or she might think that he's weird or he's stupid. You got to understand, fellas, when you're a man who lives in this scarcity, you will never get what you want in life. Now, on the flip side of this, a man of abundance lives the completely opposite because he knows she can be replaced. And he knows he has options, and he doesn't necessarily care about the outcome because he's a man of value. Like I said, the all-important week one. What is the all-important week one? The all-important week one is a straight line. It comes down to the iron body. Let's put bod for short. It comes down to the iron body. It comes down to the iron mind. And then it comes down to the iron purpose. Okay, if you have the iron body, you probably have the V-taper. You have some strength to you. You look attractive. This gives her cues for sex. If you have the iron mind, guess what? You probably don't give up easy. You're resilient. You're dedicated. Okay? You're strong. You have strong will. Masculine traits. So now you look masculine, now you think masculine. And now if you're on your purpose every single day, 24/7, you're grinding, right? You're doing what it is like you feel like you should be on earth to do. You have value. Okay, and if you look masculine and you think masculine, chances are now you're going to act masculine. Okay, this is what's going to make her wet.
And since he knows he's a man of value and he knows she can be replaced, he lives in abundance. He thinks, oh, if she doesn't work out with me, I can get a different one. And that's all it takes. That mindset right there is going to be enough cockiness and enough arrogance to you to basically get whoever the fuck you want. That's it. Have the ability to say next. This is going to be your greatest key in life. Anybody who gives you bullshit, life is too damn short, man. Alright, fellas, you know what it means when I go black. When I go black, it means take notes, shut up, and listen up. Because I'm commanding your attention. Now, I'm commanding your attention because this is important. And like I said in the previous modules, if you have your phone out while you're watching me speak, if you paid money for this course and you're doodling, you're text messaging, you're Snapchatting, you're thinking about other things, you got to wait until you're more focused to do this, because this is very, 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 very important. Who you bond with and who you spend time with can literally be one of the greatest things ever to help your life, or it can be one of the most detrimental things. This is the current state of relationships between men and women, and I'm going to break this down for you. So most people enter into relationships thinking this. Okay, they think this specifically. They go, how can, and I mean, this isn't what they say out loud, but this is what their actions say. They go, how can I find someone that loves me for me without doing anything hard and without sacrificing anything? Okay, and because they think that they shouldn't have to sacrifice anything, what they're thinking is that somebody should just love me for me. Somebody should just be there for me. Somebody should just love me. I shouldn't have to do a whole hell of a lot. The reason for that is because, well, you know, I just love should be granted. Love should be something just given to me. And the saying goes this: because you could not find joy, you settled for pleasure. Now, I'm kind of stealing this line and this phrase from the monks who practice brahmacharya. Okay, what it is like they're celibate monks. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to go celibate. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Casey's telling you how you can brainwash a woman through using sex against her. Doesn't mean it's necessarily good. And if you apply those same tactics going into a relationship, she will chase you and chase you and chase you, but the energy is bad. Okay, that's why it's very, very tough nowadays to find women who are steady and stable, but it is possible, because here's why I know it's possible. Everything I've ever wanted and gotten in life, it's because I focused on it. Okay? Which means you have to start focusing on the positive. Now, the saying goes this: because you could not find joy, you settled for pleasure. Because you see, men, most men enter into relationships because the woman gives him pleasure. Why is pleasure red? Because red is a symbol of sex. Why is it underlined? Because this is the most important word right now. Because here's the deal: men only enter into these relationships to get pleasure. They think, hey, wow, this woman has a great ass. I bet you she can ride me all night. I bet you we can have sex till 5 a.m. Right there, it's pleasure. It's short term. It's chemistry that transitioned into just pleasure. And neither parties are coming into this with the standpoint of, how can I give this other person some sort of joy? How can we have a human connection? How can we screen each other for qualities that are positive? How can we make sure we don't fuck up each other's lives? Why is everyone getting dumped? Why are women pulling back? Why do men think you can't settle down ever and have a good girl? Well, it's because everybody's focused on the wrong things. If you're focusing on how fast you can get sex, how invested you can get her sexually, how quickly you can get her mind wrapped, well, that's what you're going to have. Turmoil. Now, fellas, men need to lead by example. And since pleasure is what both parties are typically here to seek, joy and long-term fulfillment will never be received, because it's always lustful and it's temporary. So here's the current state of most men in relationships. The current state of most men in relationships is that they're porn addicted and they desire women. And even though they're in a relationship, they're still desiring all these different kinds of women's Instagram booty models, pornslut.com, pornhub.com, ride me dirty, tilatequila.com, okay, whatever the fuck these websites are. And guess what? He still drinks, he probably still parties, he maybe does recreational drugs, and he's in pain. He's in pain. He doesn't like his current situation with life. He doesn't like his current situation with love. He doesn't feel as if he's a man of value. And guess what? Most men, they probably hate their job. They have no passion. They have no purpose. Their free time is spent in waste, either playing Xbox or playing PlayStation or watching TV or watching the Oakland Raiders game or figuring out the next time that they get to just fuck off and go to their buddy's house and play FIFA or anything like that. Okay, and then what they do is they use their relationships as a complete crutch. They think, oh, since I'm not fulfilled, here's a girl. Now I can have sex. I can get some short-term pleasure. I can get some sort of fulfillment. Oh, I better jump on that. And then he hopes that this sex and this pleasure will keep fulfilling him, and he hopes it lasts forever. Only to realize this is a broken cycle. Now, if you look at the women who are broken on the opposite side, women typically need validation from 30 different men in the inbox, and then on top of that, they have society telling them that they don't need no man, that they can do everything on their own. So now you have women harnessing different sort of masculine traits, and they're becoming unfulfilled. And all women do is they chase fun. They chase fun. They chase the next thrill. They chase the next party. They don't pursue what's meaningful. And guess what? Nowadays, with all of these double taps and likes and Instagram, the sluttier a woman gets on the internet, the more likes and validation she gets. But if she posts a picture with clothes on, she's not rewarded and she has no likes, which means that in society, everybody feels as if her body is the only way that she can be worth anything to a man. And then eventually, when her beauty runs out, she's going to then date and decide to settle down. And deep down, she hates her man because there's no sense of leadership. Okay, if there's no sense of leadership, she no longer has a strong man that she can rely on. And this is the current state. This is why men are fucked up and not leading by example. And this is specifically why women pull back, is because there's no sense of leadership. There's no sense of masculinity. Because if you have a man doing all of those things on the left, how in the hell do you expect to have a relationship? You can't. So there's no unity or purpose. And yet these people expect something that lasts beautiful and that's fulfilling and that lasts a lifetime. And these people actually expect that this should work. These people actually are brainwashed so much that they think that that should equal love. How the fuck would this ever work? How the fuck can you have two people like this and think that that's going to work? And let me tell you something, fellas. The women sure as hell aren't going to get any better. So you better lead by example. You have to not validate when everybody else does. You have to not reward them for being sexually promiscuous. Okay, all of these things are ridiculously important. And since all of these things are ridiculously important, you have to make sure that you're up to par on everything. I can't stress this enough. How in the hell would this ever work? It wouldn't. It will never work. It can't. It simply just can't. So, moving on. This is a picture by Entrepreneurs in Cars. I have followed him on YouTube, or I've followed this guy for a lot of years. And I like this photo because he goes, in 1943, men could fly a plane home with half a wing blown off while bleeding out. In 2020 today, words hurt men. Toughness is a lost skill. And it's true, because you don't have tough men, because over here on the left, this is what men do. This is what men are. This is what men have became. And since this is what men have became, when that girl says, hey, I don't like you anymore, that devastates him because he's a fragile flower. Okay? You got to understand, this is why polarity is needed. Because the average man that actually wants love can't get a woman hooked and addicted, because, dare I say it, he's not a man. He is no longer a man. He has no purpose. He has no ambition. And since he has no ambition and he's comfortable in his house, he's comfortable doing nothing, he's comfortable just fucking off, well, that's what he gets. Do you understand? This is actually very, very, very straightforward. And now what we have today is we have a culture that essentially screams out to everybody. They tell everybody, well, you can just sleep with whoever. You can smoke whatever. You can watch porn, you can do drugs, you can party. There's no repercussions in life. And men are wondering why they're broken from the inside out in these relationships. Now, here's the thing, fellas. This isn't me going soft. This isn't self help. I'm still looking at you like a car. I'm still looking at you for peak performance. I want you built like a Lamborghini. I want you optimized to the brim. I want your health on point. I want your nutrition on point. When I say men are broken from the inside out, though, it's true. It's not like it's impossible to hurt a man's emotions. I've been hurt before. People can say really hurtful things to me. It might get to me a little bit if it's worse enough. But here's the thing, fellas. Like, men are so broken because the culture's broken. And here's the thing, you can't persuade the whole culture to be better and do it differently. You have to start with you. Because that's what most people do is they go to the victim mindset. They go, well, shit, I wish somebody else would step up to change this. And it doesn't work like that. It starts with one person at a time. You have to change yourself. You have to tell yourself enough's enough. I'm going to lead a better life. I'm going to lead a life that's fulfilling. I'm going to lead a life that brings me joy. And I'm going to find a partner who equally finds that attractive. That's the key. So I need you guys to do good, not bad. Do the exact opposite from everybody. Okay, and you're going to have a smile on your face daily that people wish that they had. Okay, if you do things the exact opposite, you're going to get 1% results. And that's why I made you comment hashtag 1% in the group. This whole course links together. Everything in this course is linked together. And since it's linked together, that means you need every piece of the puzzle. Super key. Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you exactly how to have a healthy relationship. So this is everybody who potentially has that you've been dating a girl for a while and you want to make sure things are smooth. You want to make sure she has the right energy. You want to make sure things are smooth between you and her. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. How to do this step by step. Okay, because here's the thing. I've been with many different women. And the thing is, the way you carry yourself in a relationship is extremely different from the way as if you're casually dating. Okay? If you're in a relationship, you have to genuinely care about the other person beyond something sexual, which means she needs to be providing value to your life that sex does not provide. You see, sex is pleasure. A good relationship means that she's doing things for you and you're doing things for her. And it's mutual. Now, here's the thing. Strength in a relationship boils down to just a few key things. Now remember, what you focus on is what you get. Okay, I'm going to say that again. What you focus on is what you get. There's 7 steps to this, and 7 steps only. How to have a relationship, step 1, that's healthy. There needs to be clear-cut expectations of what is expected of both people. And most men never actually say verbally what they expect out of her. And this leads her to believe that you're an indecisive man that does not know what he wants. Okay, today men have no standard. They're too go with the flow. And females need structure because they struggle with it themselves. Like I said, she has her period, her menstrual cycles. Sometimes she gets baby fever. Sometimes she's ready to cry. Sometimes she's ready to sleep. Like she's a woman. She's emotional. You cannot be go with the flow. I see this so many times. I used to be a real estate agent when I was like 18, 19. I was a real estate agent. I sold residential real estate. Every single couple that I ever sold a house to, when the man would consistently ask, well, baby, do you like this granite? Do you like this woodwork? I'll pick whatever. Like, do you like it? Every single man that did that, he got divorced. There's like 3 couples I know of strictly. Why is that? Because there was no clear-cut expectations of what's expected out of both of them, and she started to become the leader. He's no longer decisive. Okay, there needs to be clear-cut expectations of what's expected. Okay? So key. So key. Like, for example, the chick that I've had a longest relationship with, where is it? You guys might have seen her on my YouTube. If you registered for the webinar, her name is Brittany. Okay, so me and Brittany have had great chemistry, and she's a great little helper to what I do. Now, one of the rules that I have, the expectation is I'm like, okay, if you're at my house, one of the things is if I'm working on my computer, there's got to be no distraction. And she follows that. It's just little things. Like you set the framework for how the relationship needs to be handled, what needs to actually happen. Now, number 2, is going to be the employee slash employer mindset. You got to remember, when the relationship takes a friendly vibe, she will lose that respect and the sexual attraction for you as a man. And when you're in front of your boss, notice how you always stand a little straighter, or you want to make a really good first impression when you go into that. This is a vice versa thing. She wants strength in the man. She wants strength in her man. Because since you want a feminine woman who's soft and sweet, like I've said a million times, you have to be her opposite. So the thing is if she realizes you're a man who's easily won over, you're a man who doesn't require a lot, that's not necessarily the type of like boss she wants to have. And I don't mean bosses and you need to boss her around, but what I do mean is that there needs to be some sort of frame as to how this relationship is ran. Okay, you don't want her to lose respect for you. You definitely don't want her to lose sexual attraction for you. Because if she loses those two things, well, she's going to be off chasing that from the next guy that has better frame. Number 3, clear-cut ways to behave with do's and don'ts. Okay, as a man, you have to tell her, this is how I operate. For example, Brittany, if you look at us, right? That is not the right file. If you look at us, we've known from the get-go. I said, listen, if you end up being the type of girl that ends up shaking your ass on Instagram, or I see that there's all these direct messages that you're replying to and all of this stuff like that, that's not tolerated. And guess what? She hasn't done that once. Why hasn't she done that once? Because she knows damn well, like, I'll leave. I'm not tolerating anything. I have a zero tolerance policy for bullshit. As a man, this is how I operate. There's certain ways to behave in the relationship. There's certain ways not to behave. As a man, too, I give her mutual respect. I make sure that that's a frame that we both follow. Number 4, you have to get her to support your mission. If you are all about it, she will be too. Okay, and it's not about what you do that women love. It's about your drive and ambition for the topic that drives you. For example, it doesn't matter if you're a surgeon, if you're a business owner, if you're an electrician. Like, if you're an electrician, be the goddamn best electrician possible. I'm a business owner. I help men get better. There's going to be some women that don't find that attractive. But guess what? When they see how passionate I am about it, when they see how driven I am for it, when they see how ambitious I am about it, that's what they fall in love with. Okay, if you're an electrician, she's not going to care. But when you're an electrician that loves what he does, is super knowledgeable about it, is passionate, is ambitious to keep going, okay, that's what she's going to realize and be like, oh my gosh, this guy really has his shit together. This guy's really strong and driven. This guy's driven with something in life that doesn't equal women. Okay, it's all about what you love and how you act about it. This will naturally keep her in a feminine or submissive role. Essentially, it's like a king to a queen. Okay, the queen to her king. She wants to follow the king's plan. And the thing is notice, it's the king's plan. He's the king. He's the ruler. He's the hotshot. He's the big dick. But the queen gets to accompany the king on his mission. Natural energy, natural role. She has to support your mission at all times. You guys know my mission. Any woman that comes a part of it, you have to be for it. If you're not, it's not going to work. Number 5, as a man, your words have to mean something. What you say, you do. You lead by example. You show her that you're not full of shit. You're strong, you're dominant, you're decisive. If I say, hey, I'm going to the gym at 7 o'clock, we can't hang out until after, you bet your ass I'm at the gym. Okay, if I tell myself I'm going to hold myself accountable to 5 to 6 days a week to the gym at this time for the next 52 weeks a year, and I don't even care if it's a holiday, notice that right there is decisive masculine energy. That is something a woman falls in love with, is when your words have meaning. It shows you're strong. It shows you're rational. It shows you're ambitious. You give a fuck. Number 6, she needs to enter into your domain, not you entering into hers. And the reason for this is because men who enter into her domain, it puts her in the dominant position. This is why I advise men who live with a woman for her to come into your place. Right, like if you have your own house and you want to live with a woman one day, let's say, it's way better if she comes to your place, if she moves in with you. Don't necessarily move in with her, because then she's at that higher dominant role. Now it's like you're entering into her domain. You don't want to do that. So that way it's your way of living, it's your expectations, etc.
Okay, you want to operate how the frame of the relationship's going because you're the man. And she likes to see that you have a set way or a set frame of doing things that you live by. If you have this, this is what she falls in love with. She's like, okay, this guy has structure. This guy has boundaries. This guy probably has his shit together. This guy's not going to tolerate a lot. This is a guy that's pre-selected, and other women are probably going to find him attractive too. Okay, and the seventh step to this is a sense of purpose, vision, or spiritual connection together. I realize not everybody in this is religious. I mean, I go to church every Sunday. Granted, I've had my fun. Right. You don't get to my point where I can tell you how to brainwash a woman into love unless you do some seriously emotionally damaging things to women to where it's like you know how to get them hooked. Trust me, I wasn't always the best. But I do know how to get the upper hand, and I know how to not get fucked over by women. So here's the thing. If you decide to date a woman, men and women who date without this end up heartbroken or sex focused and lost. Why do I have the right to tell you this? Because I've been there. I've been in sex focused relationships where I want to break out handcuffs and crazy shit that you see and stuff you shouldn't be watching. I've been there. I've done it all. I've had my ego been fulfilled by if I can get a threesome or not. It doesn't help you as a man, right? You end up soulless. And very few couples stay together without some sort of religion or sense of purpose together or spiritual connection. You have to feel as if you guys have meaning and are growing together. And not only that, you have to work at it. You have to work at it every single week, right? If me and Brittany go to church for a long period of time and we start not going to church, we notice right away within the first week or two that, hey, this is going bad or this is going south or the vibe isn't as good as it used to be. Very, very key. These are the 7 steps you have to follow. I highly suggest you just took notes just now. If not, rewatch. Okay, you have to touch her soul with this. And the reason why I duplicated this and I added this is because if you can touch a woman's soul, like you can make her feel like, hey, we're here together for a reason. And she feels as if you're the type of guy that she wants to really please and make sure that, hey, I want to take care of this man to the utmost. That's when it's like, it's bread and butter. It's peanut butter to jelly. You're going to need this if you want somebody one day that is lasting. Men like to build things. Men are builders. I'm guessing men eventually like to build a relationship too. Now, granted, it still needs to be her looking for the relationship right away, not you. And last, this is for all the men. She can never see you slip up on your purpose. If she fell in love in the beginning because you were ambitious, you were focused on your purpose, you were focused at being the best, and she watches you start to slip up on that, like that right there is going to be enough for her to not to really have as much attraction for you. Right? If you used to be working double overtime because you like slinging a lot of money each week and all of a sudden she sees that you're only working the 40 because now you're in a relationship making a lot of time for her, that's going to be a turnoff. You're putting her before your purpose. She can never see you slip. If you're going to the gym, you should be going to the gym just as much when you're in a relationship to give her the signal that, hey, I still expect upkeep on your end too. Like I'm upkeeping myself, you better be upkeeping yourself. So what does the word stoic mean? The definition of stoic is a man who can undergo sacrifice without showing emotion. Okay, if you can continue to work, you can continue to build, you can continue to sacrifice without getting upset, without getting stressed, and without feeling like you're not going to be able to accomplish it, well, this is exactly how you keep her hooked. This is how you keep yourself grounded as a man, and this is how you succeed. Okay, these are the 7 steps that a person needs to live by to have a happy, healthy, and relationship forever. If you're a man and you can do these 7 steps, I want you to go back and review them, maybe watch them again and take your own notes. This is key. Hi everybody, in this module we are going to be talking about specifically how to keep her feminine when in a relationship. Now notice there's only 5 slides to this, and the thing is I see a lot of info courses. There's a lot of people that they think the more information they can just throw down people's throats, the more value it has. It doesn't work like that. If there's something like this that I can cover in 5 slides, I'm just going to cover it in 5 slides and be done with them. Now, keeping her feminine in a relationship, it's really easy. The only way to do it is to realize that the purpose must always come before her. And I've mentioned this 100 times. If you work 45 hours a week when you're single, if you're in a relationship, work 55. and etc. That's it. That's all you have to do is stay on your grind and not put her at the center of your universe, because you got to show her that you're a man on a mission. Just like she should be showing you that she's a soft, sweet woman that is good quality. Vice versa. Now here's what you got to look out for. Remember this. Your commitment to one woman is the ultimate validation. Okay, the ultimate validation, fellas, is essentially marriage. That just shows the woman like, hey, this guy loves me so much, he's willing to get down on a knee and buy a $10,000 diamond ring and propose to my ass. That does not make her wet. It does give her the ultimate validation, though. You know, everybody wants a relationship. That's fine. What you have to realize, though, is that committing to one woman does not necessarily raise her attraction for you. So here's the thing. When you do commit, it is damn near close to the ultimate validation. If she's your girlfriend, that's essentially saying, hey, I like you better than all the other women, and I'm willing not to look anymore. And this is really hard for a lot of guys, because since the uncertainty is no longer there with her, she knows like she has you and you have her, you need a way to still keep her hooked and engaged and brainwashed into you. How do you do that? You do this by not going weak for what's between her legs. If you start having sex with her, most guys go weak and turn into an emotional butterfly, wondering where she's going, what she's doing, how long she's working for, where she is every minute of the hour. As long as the pussy holds no power over you and you can carry out with your day and you can not see her for 4, 5, 6 hours just for the hell of it, and you don't have to text her, and you basically just got to keep her being the one hooked on you. She's in constant pursuit. If she's in constant pursuit, she's at the feminine position. Okay, she needs to be locking down her man, fighting for her man's time. That's it. Just don't go weak for the pussy. So you got to realize, I have dumped women before, and they've broken down bawling. And every time I ask why they're crying, what's going on? Why is this so tough for you? That's what I say to them, just stone cold. It's for the same reasons. They always say, because of your drive. And I'm not saying this to sound like some arrogant prick saying, oh, I can dump women and they cry for me. I'm being for real with you. Every single woman says it's because I see how driven you are, your drive. And the thing is this really just pulls at her hypergamy. Okay, hypergamy says that they want the best mate that is the strongest and has the most potential. Well, if she sees me working on my business 24/7 nonstop, and I don't necessarily care a whole hell of a lot about her if I'm on my purpose, essentially what that's saying is that means that my ambition is number one. And guess what? Ambition is the number one most attractive thing to a woman. That's it. Attraction is number one. Masculine drive and ambition shows so much potential that her hypergamy inside, her biological instinct, is screaming at her 24/7 to lock him down. Do whatever you can to lock down this man. She'll do anything. She'll suck your dick 5 times a day. She will be on her hands and knees begging for you. Like, I've seen it all. There's a point where women will just flat out do whatever they can to try to lock him down. And this is why. You gotta be driven. You can't be procrastinating. You can't be a bitch. Get on your shit. That's key. So she needs to still be pursuing you 24/7 even when you're dating. That's the key. It's her job to try to get some of your time each week, and I just want you guys to never be won over too easy. As long as you don't go weak for the pussy, you should be fine. The second you go weak for it and you start to make all this time and pay for all these dates and, put her before the gym or your purpose or your career, that's when she's going to flee. I'm telling you, I've seen it. That's when she's going to flee. That's how you keep her feminine even when dating. Do not let sex control it. You got to hold her to a higher standard and constantly make her qualify to you every step of the way. Hi everybody, another super short module. So this is for all of the men who want high quality women. You hear this all the time. You got guys that say, where do I find a good girl to take care of me? Where do I find high quality women? I want a high quality woman. I want a girl who's not slutting and jerking and sucking off every fucking guy. Okay, this is what guys say. Now, men who want high value women, remember, you attract what you are. You are what you focus on. What you focus on is what you receive. You cannot attract a high value woman if you're not a high value man. This is very straightforward. If you're a high value man, you'll be able to get a high value woman. She's going to want her equal or her superior. That's it. It just doesn't work like that. Like if you're not high value, you can't attract a high value woman. And when you do become a high value man, nobody can grow the nuts for you and do the approach besides you anyways. I see this all the time, man. I have coached, so before I ever did Blueprint, what I did was I coached guys one-on-one on like FaceTime or Skype or something. And it was always the same shit. I would have doctors, I would have neurosurgeons, I would have dentists, I would have bodybuilders. Okay, all high value men. This guy takes care of his body, builds an amazing, attractive physique. Still can't get women. Neurosurgeon, makes $1 million a year, still can't get women. Doctor, general practitioner, $250,000 a year, high status, good in his pharmacy, whatever, still can't get women. Okay, like all of these guys, the dentist still can't get women. I've seen this many, 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 many times over. Why is it that they can't get women? Because even though they made themselves high value, dude, they don't have any fucking nuts. Grow the nuts. If it feels uncomfortable, just do it anyways. If you're shaking and you're scared, do it anyways. Tell yourself you're going to be scared and nervous for the first 10 approaches. Who gives a fuck, man? Then be scared and nervous for 10 approaches and fuck them all up. That way when you get to the 11th girl that seems high quality and really hot, you can do it. Without being nervous, you're numb to it then. You're numb to the fear. That's key. Grow the nuts. Now, when a high value man enters into a relationship with a high value woman, there needs to be a mutual agreement of growth and push with each other. Okay? As a couple, you got to say, hey, I'm looking out for you. I expect you to look out for me. That means if we get complacent, if we slough, if we slack, you're on my ass and I'm on your ass. So never get complacent, and you guys have mutual agreements to pursue what is meaningful. You guys both engage in fitness, engage in your health, engage in losing fat, engage in spiritual and self-growth, and chase excellence and grow together. This is how you run a relationship. You don't run a relationship drinking beer on weekends with your friends and expecting that that's going to make things pleasurable, and that's going to, not pleasurable, joyful. This is how you do it. You do it by pursuing what works, and what works is the work. This takes work, but my God, is it nice when it does work. When you have somebody that's on the same alignment, it's fantastic. So if she sees you have settled down, or maybe you are done trying, or quote unquote, you just take her for granted and it's over. Like now she sees you're complacent and you just sit on the couch and you just expect her to have sex with you. Like she's going to run, because you cannot ever stop chasing excellence and you cannot fake high value. And it's your job to agree that you guys are both on the same page of being high value and growing together. That's key. So Arnold said it best, man. He goes, everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift no heavy ass weight. Okay, everybody wants to have a great, amazing, high-quality relationship, but nobody wants to put in the work for it. And that's key with anything. Everybody wants to be a business owner. Nobody wants to handle customer support, though. You get what I mean? It's like everybody wants to reap the rewards without putting in the work. If you want to be like Arnold with a squared-off chest and a big, badass motherfucker, you better work. And if you want a relationship that's kick-ass, you better work too. Point blank, period.